Once again, good morning. Our gospel reading this morning talks about Jesus when he went to Judea. While he was doing his ministry, there was a young rich man. Went to him and asked, "Lord, what shall I do to inherit God's kingdom?" And Jesus said, Jesus cited the commandments, the 6th to 10th commandments. And the young man said, "I've been doing that since when I was young." And Jesus said, "Well, if you wish to be perfect, sell what you have, everything, give the money to the poor, come back to me, and follow me." And the young man, the rich young man, was so sad because he was so rich. Nag-uul in town. Now, I challenge you guys this morning, together, let us put ourselves to the shoe of that rich young man. Try to imagine. Imagine na gali. Kita karon. Sukad pa sa una, bata pa ta. We study so hard. We sacrifice so hard. Then nakuha na to atong kurso. Kung sa may kurso nimo, education, doctor, you're an engineer, you're a lawyer, or a priest. Nakuha na nimo. Then, nagmasteral kapag yun. More sacrifice. Then, nagdoctorate kapag yun. Another sacrifice. Then, time came, nakuha na nimo yung dream house, nagpalit na nimo ang lote yung gusto nimo paliton, you were able to purchase that lot, and built your dream house, and have your dream car. Okay? You have your career or your business, and you are at the prime of your life, ready to travel around the world. Mo maginapagandoy sa tao, that's basic dreams while we are on earth. Ang pinaka-basic kadang ko sa tao, ha, mo ni, balik-balik ra gyud. Makabalay og nindot, makasakyanan og nindot, makabayad sa utang, o makator sa tibuok kalibutan. So having said all this, nakuha na nimo tanan, and you are at the prime of your life, and you are now ready to tour and travel around the world, og ingnon dayon ka sa tao or sa Ginoo nga huy undo, kalimti na ng tanan, ibaligya na, sell everything you have and give the money to the poor and come back to me, then follow me. What will you feel? To be honest, what will you feel? You sacrificed for 50 years since K1, nursery, K1, elementary, high school, college, degree holder ka na. Then you doctorate and you have everything that you toil under the sun. Then here comes a man saying to you, sell everything you have, forget. Give the money to the poor and follow me. How would you feel? How would you feel? How would we feel? Kung siya pamatayon. Dili sa yun. It's not that easy, right? The ancient Hebrew or Hebrew mindset, ang mindset sa mga ancient Israel sa una man God, because of the law of the blessing and curse, or the reward and the curse, is if you are a rich man, it implies that you are blessed. And if you are blessed, you have God's approval. If you have God's approval, you can enter the heaven. If you are poor, You are disobedient, therefore you are under curse, and you don't have God's approval. That's their ancient mindset of the Jewish people. In our gospel reading this morning, Jesus Christ, when the rich young man came to him, kabantay mo, he was only citing the 6 to 10 of the commandment. Lord, what shall I do to be saved? And Jesus replied, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, honor your father and mother, then love your neighbor. If we look at the 10 commandments, the first 5 of the 10 commandments must be talking or naghisgot siya sa atong love ni God. Di ba? Thou shalt love the Lord thy God, di ba? Keep the Sabbath day holy. It talks about our obligation to God. And the rest of the 6 to 10 of the commandments talks about our obligation to our fellow men. Inaana ang iyang partition sa 10 commandments. Yet Christ was only giving and providing the answer based on the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Diba? He was starting with, thou shalt not kill. Ang Bible, since ang concern sa rich young man was about salvation, for him to be saved and to inherit God's kingdom. Kung tanaan na ito ang Bible, the Bible and the church show 4 ways to go to heaven. 4 formula to go to heaven. Number 1, baptism. If you go to John chapter 3, it talks about baptism. Because the baptismal font, it is the womb of the church for you to enter a new life. Baptism. That's number 1. Number 2 is Eucharist. Jesus said, unless you eat the body and blood, you cannot be saved. John chapter 6. Baptism, Eucharist. Number 3 is faith. Confess in your lips and believe in your hearts. Romans chapter 9, chapter 10. Faith. And number 4 is doing the Father's will. That's Matthew chapter 25. Unless you do the will of the Father, you will not inherit the kingdom of God. So, upat. Baptism, Eucharist, faith, doing the Father's will. Pero the question is, what's keeping the rich young man from entering the kingdom of God? Unsa man gyud ang nakapalisod datong batan-on nga dato kaayo nga makasulod siya sa kaharian sa Dios. His attachment to his wealth and his unwillingness to follow Jesus. If your heart, mind, and soul and strength is fully attached to your possession, guys, imagine, think of this. If you are so attached to your possession, to your career, to your family, sa tanang nga naala to karon diri, kung attached kay ka o mamatay ka mo ang langit, madala ba nimo? Think of this. If you go to heaven, dala-dala nimo ang imong kuan. Yabi sa imong sakyanan, dala nimo imong sakyanan sa ganti. Because you are so attached to it, you are so in love with it. And when you go to heaven, you have your 10 hectares na land. Di ba? Dala nimo imong Ferrari. Sa langit, dala nimo imong mansion. Dala nimo imong mga slaves, imong mga servant. Pwede ba na? That's why Jesus said, put it down. You can't go to heaven with all this rubbish. Kini mga butanga, di pwede sa langit. Di ba? Igon sila nga, your greed will send you to the grave. So sometimes, if we are so attached with this world, we cannot really face God in heaven. The requirement is where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if your treasure is in this world, you cannot go to heaven. The secret para makaadto tag langit, dapat atong treasure to sa langit. Our priceless treasure must be God. Our treasure, pinakadako nga treasure nga pwede na to i-possess sa usa ka tawo, dapat ang Dios. That is the secret nga gitudlo ni Christ. Kaya kung ang asa, ang imong bahandi, tuwa dito ang imong kasing-kasing. Kung ang bahandi nimo mao ang Dios, tuwa dito ang imong gugma niya. O makikuban ka niya. Kaya nga naman, siya man ang imong treasure. Siya man ang imong priceless possession. It's God. Please stand.